The Associated Press is reporting that the Supreme Court heard a case on unions, and they look like they're going to deal a significant blow to them. Now, for a long time now, private sector unions have been under attack. I would say that attack has been successful. We used to have many more people in private sector unions, and then the business class, the elite, wanted to fight back against that because they don't want to pay people high wages and give them good health care and good benefits and all that stuff. So now private sector unions are at a historic low, but public sector has actually, for the most part, avoided this war against them, or you could say to a certain extent won this war against them. Public sector unions have been stronger than private sector unions for decades now, but that might all change. So here's what they say, quote, "The conservative justices seemed inclined during 80 minutes of oral argument to overrule a 4-decade-old precedent that allows public unions to collect fair share fees from non-members to help cover the costs of collective bargaining. A group of California public school teachers claims those mandatory fees violate the First Amendment rights of workers who disagree with the union's positions. Labor officials fear that union members will leave in droves if they realize they can get all the benefits of representation without paying for it. For decades, the growth of union workers in government has helped compensate for steep losses in manufacturing, constructions, and other private industries where unions once thrived. About half of all union members are now in the public sector, which has a membership rate of 36%. That's more than 5 times higher than that of the private sector at just 6.6%. Okay, so understand exactly what's happening here. The way it works for these public sector unions, and specifically in this case we're talking about in California, and we're talking about the teachers union, is everybody pays union dues, whether you're a member of the union or not, and then when the union negotiates on behalf of union members, indeed, everybody gets the benefits of that. People who are union members and non-union members who are paying their fair share fees. Because, for example, if you negotiate X amount of vacation time, I don't happen to know exactly how much vacation time that they get, but they get summer vacations at least. So you negotiate a certain amount of time off, and then it's not just the union members who get that time off, it's also the non-union members. And this happens with a variety of different benefits and positive things that the workers get, the teachers get, that the union negotiates for them. So quite reasonably, the unions have said, well, okay, if you get into this field, it's just par for the course that even if you're a non-member of the union, you're going to pay your fair share dues so that you're not a freeloader, so that you're not paying nothing and then still reaping the benefits of what the union has negotiated for you. So very simply, they're right to say, if you get rid of this requirement of non-member dues, so your fair share pay, if you get rid of that, what do you think's going to happen? What's going to happen is all these people who are in the union are going to say, well, why would I stay in the union if I could get out of it, not pay my dues, and then still have the union negotiate on my behalf? Then I'd save money in 2 ways, where I wouldn't be paying any money, I wouldn't be paying any dues, so I get to keep that money, and then also whatever positive things they negotiate for me, more vacation time, better benefits, whatever, I'm going to get that too. So people are going to decide, hey, I'm going to freeload now. But what's the problem with that? That can only last for so long because eventually the unions are going to close up shop and stop doing what they're doing because they can't, if everybody leaves the union and nobody pays their dues, well, then how the fuck are they going to keep everything running? They're not going to be able to. So this is a very, very clever and sneaky trick that the right is doing, where the argument they're making is, well, hold on here. All these non-union members who are paying their fair share dues, well, this violates their free speech rights. Because perhaps they don't agree with the union on everything that the union stands for, and they don't agree with the politicians that the unions may donate to, so you're therefore violating their free expression rights, free speech rights, and they shouldn't have to pay their fair share dues. Man, that's a clever fucking argument. Now, the reality is, the way this should be handled is it's actually a middle ground, where you say, okay, you don't want to pay your fair share dues, even though you're reaping the benefits of what the union does, even if you don't pay to them. Well, then very simply, what I would say is, well, then let them have to deal with the not having the protections of the union. So, if you're part of the union and they happen to negotiate more time off, better benefits, or higher pay or whatever, well then, okay, you're not in the union. You're not going to get that raise. You're not going to get those other benefits. You're not going to get that extra time off. Look, you didn't want to pay your fair share dues. So what do you want me to do? I'm not going to help you if you're not paying and being part of the union. Why would I help you? You're not in the union. What do you mean? So that's what should really happen. Okay, so sure, you don't want to pay anything even though you're benefiting from it? Well, then don't benefit from it. There should be a separate class set up of non-union teachers and let them fucking free-for-all for them. And they will get lower pay and they will get worse benefits. And then many of them, under that scenario, would end up running back to the union. But the way the Supreme Court is trying to set it up right now is, and remember, this is a conservative Supreme Court, so it's hilarious, that the way it looks like they're going to rule is on the side of the freeloaders. They're going to say, no, okay, yeah, you get to not pay your fair share dues and still benefit from what the union negotiates. Oh, that's horrible. Because then, believe you me, it's a matter of time until these particular unions collapse because they don't have any money to run themselves, and everybody's going to get out while still reaping the benefits of the union for a short amount of time. And then, obviously, after that happens, after the collapse of the unions, you will have a drastic decline in wages, and you'll have a decline in benefits, and you'll have just worse packages and worse deals for the teachers. And then all these idiots who wanted to save a little bit of money up front, they're going to realize that was a fucking mistake because I didn't even realize the union was doing a lot for me. They were doing a lot for me. So this doesn't look good, man. It's a clever argument that the right came up with in order to push their case here. It's an argument that looks like it's swaying the conservative justices, and they're a majority on the court. So it may just be a matter of time until we get this death blow to the public sector unions. Now, the private sector unions, they've already lost their war. They're down to 6.6% of the private sector. But the public sector unions, 36% public sector workers are in a union. That number is going to decrease if this case goes the wrong way.